with that £125 C64 in mint condition, this is what I actually got with it. Look, there was a Vixoft catalogue. Vixoft famously, one of these has a listing for how to read the joystick, including diagonals. This is the data set he had. Now there's some sellotape residue here because this side the glue had obviously come away. I don't know if you can get rid of this with label remover. Would be nice if you could, because apart from that it's pretty mint. And nice manual in not bad condition at all. And the actual tape deck's very nice condition, but it might be yellow. I can't be bothered to get it out of the box because I won't be able to get it back in the box, so that would have to be at the end of the video. But you can't load cassette games without a C2N 1531, or sorry, 1530. This is the exact same joystick that I had. Must have been very popular. Fucking horrendous. 5 buttons are nice, but the movement is like Atari VCS joystick quality. And the suction pads on the bottom have now stuck to Monopoly, which I couldn't give a shit about. So Monopoly. So this is why I bothered to pay that sort of money for this thing. Simon's Basic, probably a tenner on eBay in this sort of condition with a manual. And I'm pretty sure the manual's in there. Yeah, it is. If you want a decent basic on the C64, get Basic Lightning or Laser Basic. Someone's fighting. This will be the Hobbit, always is. I don't know where the outside is. Don't know if I've ever seen one. They always seem to come like this. I've got like 7 copies of the Hobbit, and this is how they are. Were they sold like that? I'm a bit fucked if the 2 or 3 people who still watch these videos don't know them really. I'm not going on Wikipedia. Bless Octavius Kitten, bless her. She got tired doing research on Wikipedia. But yeah, this wouldn't really interest me anyway, and this is probably quite a new game, isn't it? Where's the bloody copyright? I'll find out later. So yeah, bear in mind, actually these were the manuals that also came with it. For some reason he had 3 manuals, and this one is actually thicker than this one. This is the one I had, but this one is actually thicker. Look, let's see if we can get this shown. Let's do it that way. There you go, you can clearly see that they are different. And this one, the pages are much whiter. This one is actually pretty much brand new, apart from this tiny crease there. But yeah, why is this different? How many chapters are there? Let's have a quick look. I'm sure these are blue on the other one. I'll have to check that. So chapter 9, and then the other stuff. Is there like a circuit diagram for the C64 or the SID? Like on the programmer's reference guide. Is it just that the paper's thicker? Yeah, see? I wonder if this is a fake. Well, probably just cost reduced. This paper is cheaper than this. Famously, yeah, look. There's colour there too. so which you wouldn't get there. So this is the kind of thing you could probably get reprinted fairly cheaply, because it's all black and white apart from the cardboard covers on the front and back. See if there's a date on here. Right, that's in Berkshire. Is this in Corby? No. So they're from the same address. I got my C64 when Commodore was still in their original address, which I believe is Corby in Northamptonshire. So this is actually nicer. The paper is actually. Oh look, yeah, there is only 8 chapters here, and this is actually more yellowed. This would be far more expensive to recreate. But if this is actually a genuine thing, this is a lot cheaper to recreate. Right, anyway, so you get 2 manuals, that's probably worth a tenner together in that sort of condition. Slinky by Cosme. These are all tape games, by the way. Shall we do the cover art business? Alright then. Better sit down for this one. And we better do the games properly then. Right. Next video going up will be covers review. So yeah, so you had the mint condition 1530 C2N Commodore cassette recorder, aka the data set, for loading in data from cassette. If you ever wondered why it was called that. Oh, someone yesterday said they couldn't remember the US Gold budget label. I'm pretty sure this is it, Americana. I just couldn't remember it in the live stream yesterday. Oh well. Right, so Monopoly. Looks like the board game. Oops, press the off button on the camera there. Trying to open this crappy game open. So yeah, this is mint condition. Obviously he had some taste in games. Interestingly, this stuff, this thin sort of very thin plastic, is it vinyl, is what the ZX80 keyboard case is made out of. Don't know why I said keyboard. It's not like there's a version with the CPU box and external keyboard. So I think this is boots actually. Camera is not good enough to pick that up, or the LCD isn't. But yeah, this was £12.95 according to this. Yeah. (22nd of May 1985). Ah crap. Hang on a minute. Today's the fucking 22nd of May. You asshole. There's probably a reason for that. Although the universe just is, there doesn't have to be a reason for anything other than the laws of physics, mate. So yes, that's the Leisure Genius logo. Looks like a golfer. Yeah, he has got a golf club. I was looking at the visor there. What the hell has golfing got to do with that? I don't know, but that's their logo. 13 quid for that. You don't even get any decent cover art. Limited edition. What the hell? Oh, free stroke saver manual. Stroke saver! Yeah, save stroking. Now the case is quite nice. Cover art, just a fucking photo. So again, we're back to the later period, you know, getting towards the PlayStation era where there is no cover art, just some shit photograph. Looks more complex than leaderboard. Let's see if there's a receipt in here then. Again, just a picture for the manual. Oh look, some golf club I bet, hotel and golf club. Nah, there's no thing. Let's see if there's a price sticker anywhere on there. Yeah, see, I'm trying to look at the thing and at the camera, but the LCD screen is too bright. There's always an offer for a free badge or poster. It's never in there. You cheap bastards. No, there's no price on there. But it is what it is. Right, BC's Quest for tyres. This is a fairly expensive game. Certainly in double figures. You won't get it for less than 10 quid. Anywhere between like 10 and 20 quid depending on the seller and the condition actually. The artwork is not great, I'll admit that. However, I mean technically it's not great, but it is quite funny and very comic book cartoony. Yes, let's have a look at the condition. It's actually very good condition. Don't get screenshots on these early games. Yeah, there's a bit of creasing here and there where the cassette's been sat on it, probably upside down. Yes, people did used to do that. Two things are copied games, I believe one is Commando. They're worthless. So, you know, Hobbit, let's say a £5 for that condition. Monopoly and Golf Construction Set, you struggle to get a tenner for them. Slinky, that's probably at least a tenner in this sort of packaging. Do you know what that's saying there? Is that a price? No. 20p? No, product code actually. Did Audiogenic sell Cosmic games? No idea, mate. Cauldron 2. Very fucking annoyingly difficult game, and we played it for ages because once you spent your pocket money on a game that week, or for those 2 weeks, possibly even longer. I used to get £5 a week pocket money around the time this came out, and I think this was 10 quid. I'm pretty sure after the Beachhead incident, games were pretty much 10 quid for the C64, even on a simple single cassette like this. I think there is actually screenshots in the there you go. You know when people say award-winning, AAA, critically acclaimed, you know it's all bollocks. I had to sit through fucking Out of Africa because it won an Oscar instead of watching Rambo, and I fucking hated it. And I thought, that's it, I'm not going to cinema with the family again. Animation and graphics are nice on this, but I don't know if there's some sort of power up that helps you control the pumpkin, but when you start off the game, oh boy, will you be regretting spending the 2 weeks pocket money. Well, that's in nice condition. I'm going to say that's a tenner. Again, this is a copied thing. Is that right? Is this a real cover or a fake one? Right. Crazy Kong. The funny thing is, with Super Soft, they did an excellent Burger King clone. It's called Burger Chase. But pretty much everything else they've done is crap. Like this, Crazy Kong is rubbish. Rock Kong is probably the best before the Ocean conversion or the Atari cartridge. But Atari cartridges were expensive on the C64. Looks more like Bigfoot and the Hendersons than Donkey Kong. And whoever did that scaffolding should be fired. Why would you do the scaffolding like that? Anyway, I don't know what that's worth. Conservative £5. So, you know, Hunchback. I don't know how much these are worth. I actually really like the artwork on Hunchback. It's really good. I've always liked the artwork on this, and this is a fantastic conversion for the C64. You know, play it and weep, Spectrum owners. So yeah, there's no screenshots on this. Ooh, does the label come off? No sir, the label is intact. So that's pretty mint. I'm going to say a conservative £5 for that. It's probably a couple of quid. I don't even know what slam ball is. Is it like a pin? Sounds like a pinball game, but any screenshots? Nah, the budget range doesn't have screenshots. I have to check that out. Yes, Mr. Wimpy, another £10 game, and there isn't really much of a cover on this because this was probably a Wimpy poster. Mr. Wimpy was their mascot. Wimpy was a burger chain, and Wimpy burgers, they taste meaty in a kind of early 80s, 1970s sort of way. It's hard to describe actually. Something very different about that compared to Burger King. Burger King tastes like if I make my hamburgers using you know, good quality shop bought mince. They turn it round in it. Yeah, I used to love Wimpy. It's a real shame you don't really get them anymore. They're very rare. Nearest one to me is 10 miles. I'm not dying just to have a fucking Wimpy. No burger is worth that, sir. So of course, where the exploding fist. Oh look, facial recognition. It's like person of interest. Yeah, I know that's funny, isn't it? Look, it is actually picking up the face. Isn't that weird? Facial tracking. It's picking it up. Look, what happens if you turn it sideways? So turning sideways is not going to save you. You little thieving chavs getting recorded on CCTV. So yeah, famously this has low quality samples from Enter the Dragon, and the screech is also Bruce Lee's screech from when he's killed O'Hara. Anyone who tells you different is a Patreon prick who just went on Wikipedia and got tired from doing the research. Well, you should know this shit if you're being paid to make it. But yeah, this is probably worth at least a tenner in this sort of condition. So I'm doing well. I mean, effectively, if I didn't have like millions of bloody cassette games, alright, thousands, I have got thousands. Not all for the C64 though. Probably got about 150 brand new games for other computers. Some are sealed, some are just allegedly brand new, but I bought them all from the same guy. But this is a classic game. Played this in the independent gadget shop. You know, used to sell hi-fis and TVs and stuff as well. Not just Commodore and Spectrum and Amstrad computers. It was called Video Wheels. It was run by a guy, and his young son used to help out at the weekend. And he used to load up the games, obviously to keep his son happy as well, but to help sales. And this was loaded up, and I had to go with his son, as well as playing this with my Amstrad traitor best mate. What the hell is this shit? Motormania. He made his own fucking cover. Alright, yeah, that's just a copy tape. Right, that don't count. Vegas Jackpot, shit game, shit cover. It's $1.99. If you're gonna have one of these games, you'd get this one. Another shit cover, very boring. Steve Davis is boring, according to Spitting Images, the satirical puppet show from the Thatcher years. And, well, it's snooker. I can't remember if it's a good version. I prefer pool. Now this was a great cover. BMX. Everyone loved the BMX back then. Robots, we all loved robots. Well, technically these are very sophisticated robots even for then. These are at least 22nd century. Terrible game. Terrible game. It's $1.99, one of their earliest games. But the artwork is very nice actually, especially for the price. I mean, compare it to the artwork on Golf Construction Set, which is probably 15 quid. Spacewalker's also got very nice artwork. Now that reminds me of Chris Foss, the kind of spaceships he used to do. I wonder if... Nah, they wouldn't have bought this. But yeah, I don't think they had screenshots in the early days. Nah, they never had screenshots. Nah, I never had Bionic Granny. Oh, it's not picking up the faces. That's weird, isn't it? So if you do that facial expression, you can avoid facial recognition on the CCTV. Yeah, look, it's not recognising them. That's interesting. Another terrible game. Artwork is not as good as BMX Racers or Spacewalk. Famously, Spacewalk on GameBase 64, the version I had, is labelled as a disc version. Well, that's the version I had. Kickstart, there you go, $1.99 obviously. There was actually a BBC kids show called Kickstart, which was like, you know, they used to do exactly the same kind of stunts and you know, track riding. Yeah, it's like a competition.
Very confident. What the riders have been doing here, when they've been cresting the top of the hill, they've been going too fast, and they haven't been able to get control.
For not quite so little shits, so adolescents. I think this does actually have screenshots. They started putting screenshots in. Yeah. So, you know, the bike is quite cool, the backgrounds are not great, but it's a great game. And I'm pretty sure they did come in the red case like this, actually. Hover bother. I don't know if I've shown this actually. This is very 1970s, you know, early comic book style from the UK. I don't know who done these things. It's not quite the same as these space games. Attack of the Mutant Camels has got a rubbish cover. Pretty self-explanatory really. Mow the lawn, avoid that geezer, avoid the dog. Prefer Mower Mania on the VIC-20 because the VIC-20 is more of a technical achievement. Well, there's nicer music on the C64, obviously. Oh man, my leg's gone to sleep, luckily for you. So Hunchback 2 has only got like 4 or 5 levels. Oh, BTs, they used to sell like, you know, Airfix models and stuff like that. So they started selling computer games in the mid-80s then. Don't know what that's got to do with models, but probably got all of them. But the artwork's nice, again. So the Hunchback games do actually have nice artwork. Ooh, there we go. Mooncrester. I think this is from the arcade artwork, so you know, you either like it or you don't. I quite like it actually, and I like the game. I had Mooncrester, and I had played it in the arcade, and I thought it was very good on the C64. If you don't like Mooncrester, then obviously, hey, don't fight you two. Come on, shh, don't look at him funny. Hey, hey. Fight Club, innit? Fuck knows what they get up to when I'm asleep. Summer Games 2. Now Epix used to have this kind of graphic. Buddy, don't eat little bits of paper from 40 years ago. Definitely not good for you. Oh, he's actually listening. So yeah, you know, their earlier games were kind of cardboard boxes, like A5 but more square. They used to have this kind of artwork. I've got Pit Stop 2 and Impossible Mission in that sort of case. This is a great game, absolutely great. Probably only a tenner at most on eBay, I reckon. Important thing is, does it have the instructions? Ooh, not only does it have the instructions, but it also has the space saver to stop the cassette rattling around. And I don't know if he's written on the manual. He did write on a lot of cassettes, like on the inlay he put the tape counter number on some things, but you know, that's definitely good enough. There you go, these are the two I've got, and they come in square cardboard boxes like that. So yeah, that's another tenner. If I had like 100,000 viewers, I could do a thing like Flea Market Madness and total all this up. Dream on, mate, my channel's dead as fuck. Again, it's not picking up the faces. So a Tony Crowther game. There is A. Crowther, Anthony Crowther. Starring androids. Is that SCH or SCIH? Parg, whatever that means. Yeah. That's alright actually. You either like Crowther games or you don't. They are of a certain way. That's interesting. W.H. Smiths. Get your pens, pencils and pencil cases and protractor set for school, and then go, Mum, can I have Dynamite Dan for my C64? It is for the C64, isn't it? Yeah, that's C64. Some of the artwork's quite nice actually, very nice. Yeah, the artwork's very nice. Screenshots? Nah. I don't know if this is actually a good game. Never played it. Or if I have, I can't remember ever playing it. Obviously some sort of platform game. Is this how they imagined 32-bit computer games would look like? You could probably do something very similar to this on the Amiga 1200. If he wasn't programmed by a knob. So that's me out of it then. So there you go, mate. And that's all that stuff.